Hi guys, how you doing? Another episode on this channel. You know, thanks for clicking onto this video. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before the end of this month. Okay. All right. I just got a serious something I want to talk about Eddie Reed. He's a former basketball player. I mean, NFL player. You know, Hall of Famer. He got appointed. You know, there's, you know, the first one was Deion Sanders was appointed to Jackson University in Mississippi. He did tremendous things there. He did well there. So there's an Hbcu University in Florida, I think. It's called Bethune Cookman University, and they hired Eddie Reed. Everyone loved that. It was good that they're hiring black coaches. Good for the culture, and that's how it should be, you know. But there's something that that has happened. So this guy shows up to work. He realized that everything is not up to scratch. You know, the training ground is trash. There's a building where it's garbage inside. You know, it just doesn't look proper. You know, so he goes live on social media, of course. Some people are complaining that was the wrong way to go about it. I think there are situations that are so extreme, and the only way to go about it is to expose that. And I think, in my opinion, this is one of those situations that are so extreme, and they deserve exposure, so people know what's going on in these institutions. So what am I talking about here? Well, it turns out HBCUs are run like an African country. You know, first of all, there was Deion Sanders. I think I made a video about this, and he said a lot of things there. In one of his contracts, it was like, if he got, I think it was 30,000 people go to see Jackson State playing, then the tickets sold above that 30,000 K, he was meant to get a cut. But he will see the stadium is full. The stadium has a capacity of 60,000 plus. You know, he will see that there's probably 60,000 people who've come to watch this game. But when they go to see the receipts are only saying 28,000. Which, of course, is not reflecting the truth. So that's not good. So that kind of made Deion Sanders question everything. And there was so many stuff, so many things that were going on there that he wasn't happy about. And I get it, you know. But this is, so everyone says, oh, some people listen to Deion, what Deion had to say. Some people had something negative to say about what Deion was saying. So now this guy has experienced similar stuff. He was announced as the football coach for Bethune Cookman University, and up to now, this was like 2-3 weeks ago, and up to now, this man hasn't been given his contract. So, me, I thought you tell someone, you do everything, they sign the contract, and then you announce. That's how things work. Okay? Now, this is why I say that these HBCUs are run like an African country. Because there's been so many stories, so many things that I've heard about, you know, roaches in dormitories, people sleeping in tents outside, and it's just unacceptable. So in my personal view, I feel like Eddie Reed, just like Deion Sanders, having played at the highest level of the NFL, they kind of expect or know a certain level of expectation on a lot of things. The way the stadium looks, the training ground, etc. The way all those things look. And then when you go to some of these schools, you can understand, you can sort of go, okay, they are schools, they are not pro, pro athletes yet. But still, there has to be a level to hold these to hold these places up to, you know, and there's just, that doesn't exist. You know, people are busy, and I don't like, it's like what I see something in Africa. Some of these people like to even tell the people to their students at some of these schools to focus to, like, you know, like dancing and or playing in a band and all that stuff. People take those things more seriously than actually trying to do something that will economically empower the schools. What do I mean by this? You know, first of all, there's jealousy. This is actually what is happening at these schools is just a black issue. You know, there's jealousy among ourselves. If I am making money, so let's say like in the case of Deion Sanders, let's say the dean of that school or the chancellor of that school is getting $200,000, and Deion Sanders goes there and is getting $300,000. Now the dean is jealousy. How are you getting that much and I ain't even getting it? You know, but what you're not realizing is that you're in different fields. Let the man get what he's supposed to get, and you also get what you are supposed to get, but help each other. That's the problem in our community. Everyone wants to be a king. Everyone wants to be the highest paid. Society does not work like that. It doesn't. You know, it's exactly why we haven't truly understood how capitalism works. You know, you look at our friends, the Jews. When one Jew makes money, 5 other Jews make money. Just from him making money. We haven't truly understood that. We haven't understood the power of coming together and working together. Because when you truly look at some of these white universities are funded in America, they are funded by their own alumni. You know, the students who were there before, who are now running corporations like banks, like JP Morgan and all these people who are making millions of dollars. So they invest some of that money back to the universities. But if you ain't producing people out there, you are going to run corporations. You don't expect the schools to do well. So they entirely rely on government funding. Government funding ain't going to be enough. You know, but the thing is, it goes back again. It's a black issue. The thing is, we haven't understood capitalism. And the little that we know about capitalism, we just know about getting rich and showing off. But what we haven't understood is that as a community, you need to rise together for you to create real change. And this is what I try to tell on this channel. I try to preach on this channel that we need to come together and connect African Americans and Africans. You know, in Africa, you can create some of these corporations because we have mineral resources that you can easily have access to. You know, when we create that, when we start owning those things, the people, the graduates, some of these HBCUs who come and run some of these things. And then when they start running some of these corporations, and believe me, there are corporations that are starting up in Africa. Dangote is a corporation started by an African, a black man. You know, if you look at Safaricom, which they started in Kenya, it's now a multi-billion-dollar company, a telecom company. It's run by a Kenyan who is a black man. He didn't start it, but the CEO right now is a black man. And the CEO before that was a black man who was originally from Guyana, but via the UK. But I'm telling you, once we start doing these things, because let me tell you something. I'm into finance, right? And I know a lot more about finance. And there's some banks up there that are run by family. So when one person is CEO, they already know who's going to be the next CEO. You know, there's one company was, what was it? I think it was it Magellan? One of these big finance corporations in America, which was, I think there was a Chinese dude who was working there, and he thought he was going to be the next dude. They pushed him over, bumped him over. He ain't going to be the big guy, because some of these corporations, they still have 2 or 3 individuals who are from some old family stuff, who are, most of them, racist. Do you think they're going to allow you to run their corporation? Nah, these guys have like the biggest vote. You know, you can say, oh, I'm invested in this, whatever, BlackRock or whoever. Yeah, BlackRock might even own a big share of it. But if BlackRock owns 20% of the shares of this corporation, and one person's on 40%, who do you think has the biggest voice on these things? He ain't gonna be you, you know, even though you got, you know, maybe $1 million in BlackRock. Doesn't work like that. You know, so we need to learn how to come together. We need to create corporations, and then we need to reinvest the money that we make back to these schools so they can start producing and also attracting better educators. You know, that's how you get better. You know, we need to create a standard to which we hold every institution to. You know, you can't just have, if you look at Colorado, where Deion Sanders has gone, you look at the training ground, and then you look at this Bethune University training ground, man, come on, man. You can't compare, man. Which means, which do you think is going to produce better athletes? You know? It's the 21st century, man. It's 2023. Things got to get better. Things have to get better. We have to have a standard on which we hold everyone. All these institutions, doesn't matter if it's an African country, whatever. Because I tell you what, I'll say some of the dictators in some of these African countries are not actually voted by people, but by someone in Europe, some countries in Europe controlling that country. However, the reason why I said HBCUs are run like an African country, because in most of these countries, only the president wants to be the richest in the country. Doesn't want other people to get rich. So there's jealousy there. You know, and then they don't care so much about the standard in hospitals, in all this, in anything, that because for them, when they get sick, they get flown out to go and get medical help from advanced nations instead of trying to advance their own nation. And that's the thing, it's a mindset shift. Once we all shift our mindset, we're gonna move forward. So, you know, I just want to say thank you. I know he's come back and apologized, but Eddie Reed, hopefully he becomes a great coach. I also want to say Deion Sanders, he was right, and hopefully he does very well at Colorado. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, and please subscribe. Goodbye.